Competition versus inspiration. What's the difference between the two, and how often do we think we're being inspirational when in fact we are just being competitive? I want to share an example from my life of how I learned the difference between the two and what makes all the difference. First, what is competition? Competition is when we are trying to lift ourselves, to show our strengths, our greatness. We're ultimately trying to beat people at something. Inspiration, on the other hand, is when we are trying to help others meet their potential, find their strengths and their greatness. Competition is absolutely appropriate in some circumstances, but it can be extremely inappropriate and damaging in other ones. So the difference between the two is, who are we trying to lift up? What is our intention and where is our focus? I learned this as a young mother when I was moving out of an area and someone said something to me that woke me up and changed my perspective. She said, "I thought that we would have been better friends, but ultimately I felt like you were always trying to compete with me." Now, my immediate response was to be defensive because I didn't think that I had been being competitive, but then I began to think about how I showed up as a friend. And I realized that I had always looked at inspiration as the need to show my perfection. I would cook the best cinnamon rolls, be the most organized and on time, have my 7 children well dressed. And these qualities are all good and can be inspiring, but why was I doing it and where was my focus? And as I thought about that, I realized I was doing it to compete. I was doing it to look good. I wanted people to see how good I was, how on top of things I was. I was doing it to lift myself. And just like my last video on perfection, I was trying to be perfect, and I was lying because I very much was not. And I'm sure that that was extremely unattractive and did not build friendships. Being inspiring does mean that we show up as our best self, but it also means that we show up as our real self, and that we help others to be their best self through accepting their real self and moving upward from there. So stop competing with one another and start lifting each other, because that is how we build strong friendships and become a true inspiration.